is Princess Elizabeth, second subaltern ATS. She has been learning to drive and maintain all types of motor vehicles. When the training center was visited by the King and Queen and Princess Margaret, they found Princess Elizabeth in overalls working on the engine of a Red Cross lorry. The Princess Elizabeth, honorary second subaltern ATS, is now a competent mechanic and proud of the fact.
The words echo out of the history of the land. We have resolved, by the favor and blessing of Almighty God, to celebrate the solemnity of our royal coronation upon Tuesday, the 2nd day of June in the year of grace 1953.
The coronation of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
It's
Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain was the longest reigning monarch in British history. She celebrated 70 years on the throne in June 2022 with her Platinum Jubilee. Queen Elizabeth II became Queen on February 6, 1952 and was crowned on June 2, 1953. She was the mother of Prince Charles, heir to the throne, as well as the grandmother of Princes William and Harry. As the longest-serving monarch in British history, she tried to make her reign more modern and sensitive to a changing public while maintaining traditions associated with the crown. Early life. Queen Elizabeth II was born Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary on April 21, 1926 in London to Prince Albert, Duke of York, later known as King George VI, and Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. At the time of her birth, most people did not realize Elizabeth would someday become the Queen of Great Britain. Elizabeth, nicknamed Lilibet, got to enjoy the first decade of her life with all the privileges of being a royal without the pressures of being the heir apparent. Princess Elizabeth delivered the first of her famous radio broadcasts during World War II. She reassured children who had been evacuated from their homes and families. The 14-year-old princess assured them that, in the end, everything will be well, for God will care for us. In 1945, Elizabeth joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service to help in the war effort. She trained side by side with other British women to be an expert driver and mechanic. While her volunteer work only lasted a few months, it offered Elizabeth a glimpse into a different non-royal world. She had another vivid experience outside of the monarchy when she and Margaret were allowed to mingle anonymously among the citizenry on Victory in Europe Day. If you're enjoying this video already, kindly subscribe to this channel. Ascension to the crown. When Elizabeth's grandfather, George V, died in 1936, his eldest son, Elizabeth's uncle, became King Edward VIII. Edward, however, was in love with American divorcee Wallis Simpson and had to choose between the crown and his heart. In the end, Edward chose Simpson and abdicated the crown. The events changed the course of her life, making her the heir presumptive to the British crown. Her father was crowned King George VI in 1937, taking on the name George to emphasize continuity with his father. Her mother became Queen Elizabeth. On King George's death in 1952, she became Queen Mother and her daughter became Queen Elizabeth II. Coronation. Elizabeth was crowned Queen Elizabeth II on June 2, 1953 in Westminster Abbey at the age of 25. Elizabeth assumed the responsibilities of the ruling monarch on February 6, 1952 when her father, King George VI, died. For the first time ever, the coronation ceremony was broadcast on television, allowing people from across the globe to witness the pomp and spectacle of the event. husband Prince Philip, Elizabeth married her distant cousin, Philip Mountbatten, a surname adopted from his mother's side, on November 20, 1947, at London's Westminster Abbey. Elizabeth first met Philip, son of Prince Andrew of Greece, when she was only 13. She was smitten with him from the start. The two kept in touch over the years and eventually fell in love. At the time of their wedding, Great Britain was still recovering from the ravages of World War II, and Elizabeth collected clothing coupons to get fabric for her gown. Philip died on April 9, 2021 at the age of 99. Children. Elizabeth and Philip wasted no time in producing an heir. Son Charles was born in 1948, the year after their wedding, and daughter Anne arrived in 1950. Elizabeth had two more children, sons Andrew and Edward, in 1960 and 1964 respectively. In 1969, she officially made Charles her successor by granting him the title of Prince of Wales. Hundreds of millions of people tuned in to see the ceremony on television. In 1981, 32-year-old Charles wedded 19-year-old Diana Spencer, best known as Princess Diana, with later rumors surfacing that he was pressured into the marriage by his family. Elizabeth had 15 prime ministers placed into power during her reign. Diamond Jubilee. Elizabeth celebrated her Diamond Jubilee in 2012, marking 60 years as Queen. On September 9th, 2015, she surpassed her great-great-grandmother Queen Victoria as Britain's longest ruling monarch, who reigned for 63 years. Sapphire Jubilee. On February 6, 2017, the Queen celebrated 65 years on the throne, the only British monarch to ever celebrate her Sapphire Jubilee. Platinum Jubilee. In 2022, the nation celebrated Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee year. She was the first British monarch to reach that milestone, which marks 70 years on the throne. Elizabeth died peacefully at her Balmoral estate on September 8, 2022. She was 96 years old. Hobbies. She enjoyed reading mysteries, working on crossword puzzles, and reportedly even watching wrestling on television. I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong. Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you for checking out this video, and thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel, and if you're here already, kindly give us a thumbs up, as this will help our channel grow. Kindly stick around for more contents like this. See you in our next video.